Well, hello, everybody. Welcome into another episode of Across America Good News Edition. My name is Chip Rooster. I'm with Nexstar Media, a digital anchor, host, whatever you want to call me for this side of our industry. And for those of you, I'm hoping at this point, episode 7, we've got a couple of repeat watchers, so you know what you're in store for. But everyone else out there that this is your first time seeing this program, this is all about the good news from across America. Title kind of gives it away, doesn't it? I understand, and I like to point this out every once in a while, there's a lot of important, serious news out there that must be covered and is covered within Nexstar. But I like to take this 30 minutes to really focus in on the good, the positive, the interesting that maybe you otherwise wouldn't see because it doesn't make the main headlines, right? But here, that's the only kind of headlines that we have. So what are some of the stories that we're covering in this particular episode? Well, I've got an animal story. This one's about how to keep cats happy. 'Tis the season, and this Halloween decoration has people calling 911. Granny Basketball League, enough said. A pizza champ, a world pizza champ from the US. If you know Dirty Dancing, the movie, that hotel has made a new mark. And then that last story coming across the screen was a Spanish teacher using TikTok to help his students out. You're going to see all of those stories and more if you stick with me for the next 30 minutes. But we will begin with a really soul-touching story. This one is about a mother-daughter who are reunited after a 25-year-long search. And I mean, it changed their lives. They learned stuff along the way. For that story, we're heading out to our New York City station, WPIX, with Grace Gomez reporting.
I can't believe this day is finally here.
For over 40 years, Kate Czar has been apart from her birth mother, Maria Paulina Gonzalez.
From what I was told, that she gave me up for adoption because she wanted me to have a better life. So I was happy with that.
But in February 2024, during a trip to Chile, Kate was left perplexed by a comment a tour guide made.
He said, I wonder if you were a part of the stolen babies out of Chile.
During the military dictatorship of Augusto Pinochet in Chile between the 70s and 90s, thousands of babies and children were stolen from their parents and illegally put up for adoption, often overseas. Fast forward to spring of this year, as she checked social media, she got a message
from someone named Carlos, and it was in Spanish. The big message in there was that your biological mom's looking for you.
That's when Kate got in touch with Connecting Roots, a nonprofit organization dedicated to reuniting Chilean adoptees with their biological families. The organization facilitated DNA tests to both Kate and her birth mother, and within days, it was confirmed they were related.
It's the fact that she's alive and she wants you, that she wants me, and we're gonna continue that want and be a part of that want.
Maria Paulina arrived this morning from Chile, traveling more than 5,000 miles for this. A warm embrace between them, culminating the relentless search Paulina started 25 years ago. The mom saying in Spanish, she feels like she's living in a dream, but she always loved her daughter and never forgot about her, and she can't believe this meeting has finally happened.
And just to reiterate a piece of the information from that, it was 25 years of searching by the mother, but it was nearly 40 years apart because she never knew her birth mom. And I think the wildest part of that story is watching someone that we're going to guess is about 40 based on the numbers given, still breaking down, talking about meeting their mom for the first time, right? It doesn't matter how old you get, your mom is your mom. So beautiful story and a great way to kick off our good news edition of this week. We are going to turn our attention to one of the stories that I was kind of teasing you with, and this is a Spanish teacher who went on TikTok for a good cause to raise some funds to help out some students. This one coming from our station in Grand Rapids, Michigan, WOOD.
Here at Ionia Middle School, Senor Gurney is making an impact on students' lives far beyond the classroom, but how he's doing it might not be quite what you expect.
Ojos, orejas, boca.
In Senor Gurney's classroom, Spanish comes alive.
Bailen. Excelente, amigos.
He gets his students moving, grooving, fully engaged.
Gracias, amigo. Muchas gracias. Okay, bueno.
His passion for teaching Spanish started years ago with a study abroad trip of his own.
It was extremely life-changing to be immersed in the culture because you read it in a textbook, you learn it, and you practice it with your students. But when you're put in the culture to actually have to use what you've learned, it's a whole new experience, and it's one I'll never forget. And so I thought, I've got to take my students abroad and give them that same opportunity.
But when he learned that several students couldn't afford an upcoming spring break trip to Costa Rica, he turned to an unexpected tool.
So I thought, if I can earn a couple extra dollars to help my students afford to go to that trip, then why not?
He joined TikTok.
Today is day one of me trying to secretly raise $9,000 so that I can surprise 3 of my students with a trip to Costa Rica. Hey there, this is day 2 of me trying to secretly raise $9,000. Hey, so it's day 3.
At first, it was a compilation of trends like dances, outfits of the day.
But TikTok was a great resource for me to step out of my comfort zone. I'm trying to sell 1,000 puzzle pieces.
But soon his fundraising videos took off.
Again, you all have just been so supportive.
With donations pouring in from across the globe.
Ireland, London, I had people even in Africa.
He did more than cover the cost for 3 students.
Thank you for your patience, for your love.
He paid off the balance for 13 others.
Community is everything to me. You know, I am part of this community here, so I like to give back any way I can.
As of Friday, Senor Gurney has raised $34,000 to help his students experience Costa Rica firsthand.
TikTok brings people together. It can be used positively, and I've had nothing but positive experience with it.
An online movement giving students an opportunity that could change their lives.
People want to help students travel. People want to help students with their education.
In Ionia, Tessa, Kresch, News 8.
How often are you going to hear a teacher say, yeah, TikTok can be used for good, can bring people together, instead of like, put down that phone, get off of TikTok. Oh my gosh, TikTok. What a cool way to use that. And did you hear that number? 34,000 when his original goal was 9? Clearly, the community turned out. We're going to move to another school where it's a different kind of education. It's still art, you know, in the sense that language can be an art. And this one taking place when a downed tree left quite a spot and someone had an idea of what to do with it. For this, we head to St. Louis and our station KTVI.
Hello! A group of eager school kids gathered outside Redbud High School to see the progress on a downed tree being turned into a new piece of art.
Today it's mostly just smaller tools.
Luca, the chainsaw artist, has been at the school for a couple of days, skillfully welding his chainsaw, carving this sculpture.
The tree was 4 foot wide, a lot of big chunks that need to get down and stuff, and now we're finally getting to the smaller part where I use a smaller detailed chainsaw.
The project almost didn't happen until the school's athletic director proposed the idea.
Said, hey, we're missing out on an opportunity if we don't make a life-size musketeer out of this tree they're cutting down. I knew there was a local guy. I looked him up, gave him a phone call, and within a few minutes we had him on the books and stopped the tree company from cutting it down all the way and grinding the stump out.
No plans.
Yeah.
No design. The musketeer is being carved all by memory. Luca says the most challenging part of this project is the face.
Face is the trickiest, so there's not, like, it's just so defined and stuff, and it's easy to just make him look like so ugly just because of the face. So
the sculpture should be finished in the next couple of days, and Luca will move on to his next job.
I think he's doing a heck of a job. It's going to be really awesome when it's finished.
And when it is finished, the town of Redbud will forever cherish its new wooden musketeer, standing proudly in the front of the high school. In Redbud, Illinois, Wade Smith, Fox 2 News.
What's that famous artist quote where it's not that you carve the sculpture, it's that you reveal it, that you take away the pieces that you don't need? I mean, that's basically wood carving, right? Literally chopping away those pieces to create that musketeer. Very cool thing happening. And there's more than one way to be an artist. This is going to be my transition for the next one, because cooking can absolutely be an art. And did you know that a world pizza champion is in the U.S.? I just learned this as well, loading up this story. And where is it? Because you sure want to try that pizza just like I do, don't you? Our station in Columbus, Georgia, WRBL, is going to fill us in.
A pizza kitchen is the happy place for Cerrone Brick Oven pizza owner Leo DICESARIS. For him, the love and passion for a culinary career in pies started with family.
Growing up in an Italian family, having my father cook it, my grandmother's cook it, and always being around, it was probably my first love as a child, right, as most of us are.
Later on, Leo's love for pizza started to rise, and it became something more than just a meal.
It was an art form that was simple, but it was very dedicated. It's very much looked at differently in Italy than it is here. and just that passion and love for it.
Leo started to treat his passion for this Italian dish differently as well.
Give the bottom a little more love and it'll be done.
He dove into his career and began training under former world champion chefs. The hard work paid off. This past weekend, he was named a champion at the 2025 Pizza World Cup in Rome, Italy. For him, it was a moment to make his mentors proud.
So there's always almost like an expectation or a pressure when you're like, I'm going to compete. Let me see if I can honor what I've been taught by these great pizza makers. And you're always pushing the limits of your abilities, or always learning more. It's pressure off your shoulders of a relief of, you know, you made your teachers proud.
While the Southeast wouldn't be considered a hotbed of pizza-making talent, Leo is proud to represent the Fountain City and the region on such a big stage.
So anything to really bring light to this community, put it on the map. You know, I love this city. I was born and raised here. And so it's home to me and a lot of other people. And so it's a beautiful community, always has been.
While Leo's trophy case is getting full, his passion for cooking isn't baked into personal achievements. It's simply about connecting people.
I love seeing people gather, share stories, conversation. It's more than just eating good food. It's about building relationships with friends, family, having a good time.
In Columbus, Rex Castillo, WRBL News 3.
Anybody else looking up flights to Columbus? Just me? Okay. I got to go to Columbus. I'll be right back. In all seriousness, quick commercial break. On the other side of this, though, we are talking some more seasonal stories. So for those that enjoy autumn and Halloween and massive pumpkins, stick around. It is time for the seasonal story block. And I forgot to say at the start, this is an episode that is the positive, good news stories leading up to Friday, October 10th, 2025. So all of these are from the week preceding that date. So yes, it is the season for autumn goodness, and especially in the northern part of the country where autumn really settles in. The changing of the leaves, Halloween is huge, the days are shorter, and jack-o'-lanterns. Oh, the jack-o'-lanterns. So this next story is actually coming from basically my backyard. Our reporter at WGN TV in Chicago, ERIN MCELROY, who is a feature reporter at that station, covered a place prepping for a massive pumpkin display. Jack-o'-lantern world.
These things are unbelievable. Most of these are 1,500-pound plus pumpkins.
Walking in, it looks like a pumpkin patch on steroids.
I mean, this flesh on these pumpkins can get up to 18 inches thick.
But to the guy who goes by Pumpkin Pete, this is paradise.
And we're sitting here with some of the biggest pumpkins in the entire world at the moment. We have one just behind me that's 2,500 pounds. It's the largest pumpkin in the entire world that's been harvested so far this year.
His chase for the big guys starts early, tracking down some of the Midwest's mightiest from farmers like Kurt Herman in Wisconsin.
The biggest pumpkin was 1,646.
Today's van load runs about 3,800 in total.
The giants are a labor of love.
Each one tenderly grown from seed in the most carefully curated soil until they are full grown.
By the time that they're harvesting these, they're drinking 150 gallons of water a day.
Usually I collect rainwater and I'll warm it up if it's too cold. So they are babied pretty much. It's more, I would say, yeah, it's more nurture than nature.
Beautiful.
Whether it comes out of the van, a flatbed, or semi, each one of these giants is celebrated.
It's a lot of work to grow something like this. If someone grows 3 pumpkins like this, that's amazing. They literally spent probably 3-4 hours a day throughout the entire season on those pumpkins.
Which is why Pumpkin Pete feels carving them is as much tribute as tradition.
Just like when you go to a craft fair and you see a handmade quality, that's really what these pumpkins are.
There are more than a dozen artisans that turn the majestic gourds into works of art.
Each one of these pumpkins, from planning to it being done, being moved, usually takes between 8 to 10 hours. So it's a lot of work.
At Jack-o'-lantern World, they go through thousands by Halloween, with a shelf life of no more than a few days. But if you ask them if it's worth it to be part of this pumpkin storyline, you'll get nothing short of a resounding yes.
I think one of the biggest honors is people coming and thinking they're fake. Because they think it's too good. They think it can't be a real pumpkin because it's so well done. And so I find a lot of honor when I get that kind of compliment. I wish I could do this all year long.
To Pete, this place is not just a patch, but a larger-than-life playground.
So everybody can climb on them, can stick their head inside them, can feel what the inside. They're seeing something they cannot see anywhere else. And the joy and excitement that you see when that scale goes like this and that pumpkin goes in the air, I mean, it's like nothing else.
A story, nothing short of magical, for those on a quest for the great pumpkin.
And to me, that's a beautiful thing.
I mentioned that this was in my backyard. I actually went to this event last year, and she was totally right. I was walking through that whole thing going like, how many of these are even real pumpkins? So to hear someone be like, they're all real, and that's their favorite thing to hear, I am more impressed. Hindsight, I am more impressed with Jack-o'-lantern world. You're welcome, Pumpkin Pete. We're going to stick with the theme of the season for our next story. And instead of pumpkins, we are talking about home displays. There's one happening. Our station in Spartanburg, South Carolina, WSPA, was a photojournalist that apparently seems so realistic, it has people literally calling 911.
Some lights, some smoke machines. A lot of people think it's a projector. It's not.
One of the things that we keep hearing is that the fire department probably hates you, and it's actually the opposite. We're friends with a lot of the firemen, the fire chief. They all know what we're doing. They're aware of it.
They've gotten 3 or 4 calls already this season. People have called dispatch in to tell them that there's a house on fire, and they have to tell them, no, it's just Halloween. 2 years ago was the first time I saw it, and I think we did like a lot of all these cars are doing. We slowed down, and at first we were like, that's really awesome.
We really just enjoy giving back to the community, and our Halloween themes are one of the ways. The other way is we do a pumpkin patch every year. We turn the whole front yard into a pumpkin patch. This year it's October 18th from 8 to 12. People can stop by and get 1 free pumpkin per person.
Especially on Halloween, he does some really cool stuff. He's flipped an ambulance over in his front yard, has a skeleton coming out of it. So they go all out for Halloween. It's pretty awesome to see.
We love Halloween. We love decorating for Halloween. We're the house at Halloween that passes out the full-size candy bars. So every year we just kind of try to step it up a notch.
We did it in 2023. It did not, have this big of a response, but somehow we went viral this year, and so we're excited to see all the people enjoying it.
As cool as the house is, I think my favorite part of that whole story was like, oh, we're the house that does the full-size candy bars, because every kid in the neighborhood knows which house does the full-size candy bars. I'll tell you, even a couple of the adults, I know which house in my neighborhood does full-size candy bars, and we always go by that house. So that's definitely an important statement to put out there when you celebrate Halloween. This last story, it's hard. I wanted to try and make it all seasonal, but this was such a neat story, especially for non-locals. So we're going with part of Halloween is history, and thus I'm fitting this one into the block, the theme of this set of stories. And it comes to us from our station, Roanoke, Virginia, WFXR, and has to do with a rather famous hotel, especially if you know the movie Dirty Dancing.
The 80s rom-com fan might recognize the building behind me as the Kellerman Resort from Dirty Dancing. But here in Giles County, it's Mountain Lake Lodge, and it just got added to the Historic Hotels of America list. The first Mountain Lake Lodge was built in 1851. The Moody family took over in the 30s and built the stone building you see today. The Mary Moody Northern Endowment, whose mission is connecting people to nature, still owns and operates the building.
There's record of the stagecoach coming through Mountain Lake. So, we have a very rich history. Dirty Dancing is, just almost 40 years ago. That's nothing compared to the rich history that we have here at Mountain Lake.
Being on the Historic Hotels of America list could draw in new visitors to experience both Mountain Lake Lodge and Giles County.
It's giving us exposure in Giles County at Mountain Lake Lodge to the Historic National Traveler. And that organization is also a part of Historic Hotels Worldwide. So it is giving us national and international attention that this hotel never would have had.
While being on the historic list is a new honor, Mountain Lake Lodge is also celebrating the opening of their new spa. Hotel officials say it's another way people can connect with nature.
You'll hear fountains and wind chimes, and it truly is a nature sanctuary where you can come for the day, you can have treatments throughout the day, you can read a book outside in the afternoon and listen to the birds and just be surrounded and immersed with nature. It truly is a one-of-a-kind experience here at Mountain Lake.
As the cult classic Dirty Dancing approaches its 40th anniversary, the hotel is working closely with Lionsgate to plan a celebration. They say to keep a close eye on their social media pages as those details take shape. In Giles County, Zoe Mallory, WFXR News.
Oh, that was a nice little teaser for the big Dirty Dancing fans out there. Hey, I thought that worked, right? History, Halloween, historic. That was cool. All right, I'm going to take it. We're rolling with it. Thanks so much. We've got to take another quick break. And on the other side of it, we are talking grandmas and animals. It is so internet, I can't even believe it. I'll see you there. I've got two grandma stories, and then the middle grandma story is also about animals, and then a pure animal story. So it is just, I mean, that is this last set of stories. First one, all about granny basketball. I did not know that there was a league for this thing, and let alone that it had been around for a while. So great to get the story from our station in Abilene, Texas, KTAB. And if this is also your introduction to it, let us learn together.
As we age, it's important more than ever to keep the mind and body active. This group of big country women in Eastland trading in the knitting circle for the star drill as they build camaraderie on and off the court.
This gets people out from in front of the TV, off the couch. We're off our rockers, is what we say a lot.
Team captain Karen Parker and coach Roma Holly representing the Eastland Old Rips. One of 54 teams in the U.S. and Canada that make up the Granny Basketball League, which has been around for decades, offering community and competition to women 50 years or older.
It's a gentle game for women of a certain age. We are of a certain age.
The Old Rips making certain that the big country has someone to root for as the first team from this area.
And she has put her heart and soul into getting this going.
Holly becoming aware of the league in December of 2024, doing some research and reaching out to see if anyone else would be interested. The team now 12 strong.
Some of us are still working full-time, some people are retired. Our oldest player is 76 years old.
League rules ensuring that anyone can participate.
No running, no jumping, no contact. We focus on what you can do, not what you can't do.
By dividing players into 3 court sections where they stay, you won't see any running up and down the court. And scoring is a bit different too, with a granny shot counting for 3 points. And I can tell you firsthand that these ladies will stick with you no matter how long it takes. But even then, it's about so much more than the game.
Here's the best thing. I did not know Karen before this. I would say out of all of our team, I only knew like 1 or 2 of them before Granny Basketball.
Continuing to develop their bodies and minds while making new friends all along the way. For BigCountryHomepage.com, I'm Noah McKinney.
The granny shot counts for 3. That is so perfect for the Granny League. I also loved the line specifically in there, how they were trading in the knitting circle for the basketball court, because it works so perfectly with my next story, which is all about, you guessed it, a knitting circle.
Every Tuesday for over a decade, the Knit and Noshers have met at this Flying Star on Paseo.
We sit and knit and talk and order food and order drinks and have a wonderful time.
Tucked in a corner, the group of more than a dozen women put their fingers to work knitting everything you can imagine, from blankets to scarves and mittens.
We knit for ourselves. About half the time we're knitting for friends and family.
But now they're adding a new customer to their list, shelter animals at Albuquerque Animal Welfare.
This is a unique program that we're just recently thought of. It's really going to help get people more involved in animal welfare that can't always do the dog walking or the fostering.
The shelter is asking the community to get crafty by creating items for the pets in their care to make life a little brighter, something Penaloza says they are eager to do.
We're all animal people. We love all of our animals. Pretty much all of our animals are rescue animals.
Penaloza says while they're all experienced knitters, they've never worked on items of this size before. Using patterns and guides, they are now ready to add their own flair. Penaloza hopes inexperienced knitters will step up and lend a hand.
Even a simple bit of fabric is going to make an animal feel warmer. It's going to make them feel loved. They're going to smell the human that was behind that, and they're going to realize they're not alone.
There'll be plenty of ideas, and it can be done not just as an individual, but it can be a family project. It can be done by kids in the schools.
Madison Connor, KRQE News 13.
Oh, and thanks, Madison. I do appreciate when they say their name and the location, because I forgot to set that up at the start of it, that one was coming from our station in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Final story of the show, as I continue to do, so far successful, 7 weeks in, I'm getting an animal story in here and we're ending with it. This one is about cats, very internet, but it's specifically about research done as to how to keep cats happy. And I will tell you, with 2 cats at home here, I am keenly interested in what this one has to say, because sometimes they're jerks. And maybe if I make them happy, they'll be a little nicer to me. Yeah, let's see.
Cute, cuddly, and klutzy. Cats hold a special place in many people's hearts.
Dogs are much more wanting to be trusting towards people, and cats are really resilient.
At Perfecto Cat Lounge in South Austin, vet tech Jules Lennard spends her day bringing joy to these adoptable kittens.
I'm such a, I don't know if you can tell if I'm a cat person.
She says that keeping cats happy is all about letting them hunt.
So that's why there are so many active toys for cats, because it keeps that energy going.
They're a little more closer to their natural instincts, and they're much closer in behavior to their closest ancestors.
Michael Delgado is the author of Play With Your Cat and the presenter at this month's Hot Science Cool Talk lecture at UT Austin. She says that unlike dogs, cats weren't bred for domesticity.
We really haven't asked them to change very much. We've just said, like, hey, be cute and cuddly, and, you know, killing mice is like a bonus.
Now, one of the best things you can do to make your cat happy is put them up somewhere high where they can surveil the landscape.
They need to hide if they feel overwhelmed. They like to be up high where they can see what's going on around them.
For Jules, the biggest piece of advice is simple, but not one some cat lovers follow.
Play with them. They need contact. You need to realize that it has to be on their terms too.
In Austin, Eric Henrikson, KXAN News.
It has to be on their terms. So still, this is not really a good answer then for the problem that I have, because I would love to play with them. I would love to play with my cats. They just don't want to do it when I am free to do it. But nonetheless, cat owner, many of you can commiserate out there with me, I'm sure. Hey, that is it for our show. Thank you so much for tuning in for yet another episode of Across America Good News Edition. We're going to keep this thing going. More good news next week right here on Across America Good News Edition. I'm Chip Brewster, and hope to see you on that next episode.